On a scorching Saturday in Lagos, Kelvin's act of kindness turns into a nightmare when he gives money to a mysterious old woman. Stricken by a strange curse that steals his manhood, he's forced into an unthinkable choice: marry her daughter or lose everything forever. As his world crumbles and his fiancée, Cynthia, drifts away, a sinister plot unfolds, orchestrated by his best friend Bobby. With time running out, Kelvin faces a battle against dark forces and betrayal. Will love and faith triumph, or will evil claim victory? Dive into this gripping tale of suspense, redemption, and the power of true love. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more thrilling stories. It was a sweltering Saturday afternoon in Lagos. The sun blazed intensely, and the streets buzzed with clamor. Vendors shouted, kids darted around, and vehicles honked relentlessly. Amid the chaos, Kelvin and his buddy Bobby strolled along. They appeared sharp, sporting sunglasses and chuckling heartily. Kelvin had just received payment for a major online project. He was thrilled and eager to savor his weekend. As they crossed a bustling intersection, they noticed an elderly woman seated on the ground. Her clothes were tattered, and her face showed exhaustion. She extended her hand and pleaded, "My sons, please assist me. I haven't eaten since yesterday." Kelvin paused. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a 500 naira note. Bobby swiftly grabbed his arm and warned, "No, Kelvin, don't give her anything." Kelvin was puzzled. "Why not?" Bobby replied, "I've seen her before. She's here every Saturday. People claim she's not an ordinary beggar. They say she's a spiritual beggar who steals destinies." Kelvin chuckled and said, "Bobby, please, stop it. She's just an old lady asking for help. Look at her. She's in pain." Bobby gripped his hand firmly. "I'm warning you. Don't do it. Some people aren't what they seem." Kelvin shook off his hand, approached the woman, and handed her the money. "Mama, take this. Get some food," he said. The woman gazed at him and gave a peculiar smile. "Thank you, my son," she said in a deep voice that didn't match her frail frame. Bobby stepped back, feeling uneasy. Kelvin didn't notice anything odd. He simply walked away. "Let's grab some food," he said. They entered a restaurant, ordered meals, and ate. Everything seemed fine, but after eating, Kelvin stood to use the restroom. He went to the toilet, unzipped his trousers, but nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. He drank water and pressed his stomach. Still nothing. Fear crept in. He hurried back to the table. "Bobby, something's wrong. I need to pee, but I can't." Bobby exclaimed, "Jesus, I told you not to give her anything. See what's happened." Kelvin trembled. No, this can't be real." Bobby said, "Let's go back there now." They raced to the intersection, but the old woman was gone. They asked passersby. No one knew where she went. A young boy selling groundnuts nearby said, "That woman, she'll be back tomorrow morning. Come then." Bobby looked at Kelvin and said, "Now do you believe me? You need to plead with her to reverse what she did." Kelvin slumped to the ground, clutching his head. "What am I going to do?" Bobby said, "We'll return tomorrow and hope she appears." The next morning, Kelvin woke early. He barely slept, tossing and turning, his heart racing, his body chilled despite the heat. Bobby also slept poorly. They dressed quickly and left before dawn. They spoke little on the way. Kelvin was anxious and Bobby was frustrated. When they reached the intersection, it was still quiet. The usual crowd hadn't gathered yet. They sat under a small tree by the road and waited. An hour passed, then two. Kelvin's eyes grew weary from scanning the area. His stomach felt heavy. His body burned inside. He still couldn't urinate. The pressure in his bladder worsened. Around 10 a.m., the old woman finally appeared. She moved slowly, leaning on a stick, dragging her feet as usual. She seemed even frilier than before. When Kelvin saw her, he ran to her and knelt. Bobby stood behind, observing. "Mama, please," Kelvin begged, his voice quivering. "Please, I don't know what I did. I only gave you money. Please help me. I haven't urinated since yesterday. I'm scared. Mama, please help." The old woman looked down and frowned. "Young man, I don't understand what you mean," she said slowly. "Did I ask you? Did I beg you? Who are you?" Bobby stepped forward. "Don't lie, Mama. You know what you did. Give back what you took. A crowd began to form. Some young men recognized the woman and recalled strange tales about her. One shouted, "That's her, the one I mentioned. She takes people's manhood and blessings." Another said, "Let's burn her. She's a witch." Some picked up stones and sticks. The crowd grew furious. People shouted, "She must confess today. Burn her. She's evil." Kelvin stood quickly and yelled, "No, no, no. Don't touch her, please. I said don't harm her." Bobby pulled him back. "Kelvin, are you crazy? She's the one who stole from you. Let them handle her." But Kelvin faced the crowd. "Please hear me out. I gave her the money myself. If I made a mistake, I'll deal with it. Don't hurt this woman because of me." The crowd slowly calmed. Some left in anger. "Then face your fate," one youth said. "If you don't want help, we won't force you." When the crowd dispersed, only Kelvin, Bobby, and the old woman remained. She looked at Kelvin and said, "You have a kind heart. That's why I didn't make it worse. But if you try to arrest or harm me, I'll do nothing. The affliction will stay forever. The only way to be free is to follow me home." Bobby shouted, "Never. This is insanity. Kelvin, don't go with her. You don't know her. She might kill you. Are you listening?" Kelvin looked at Bobby. "What can I do? I'm dying slowly. If I don't fix this, I'll live like this forever." Bobby said, "It's your call. But don't say I didn't warn you." Then he walked off, shaking his head. "I warned you, Kelvin. I warned you." Kelvin stood for a moment, then slowly followed the old woman. She led the way, and he trailed behind. They ventured deep into the old part of town, where buildings were dilapidated, the road was dusty, and the air smelled foul. After about 30 minutes, they reached a small mud house with a rusty tin roof. It was silent. The old woman opened the door and entered. Kelvin followed. Inside, the room was dim and smelled of herbs and smoke. The woman sat and pointed to a wooden chair. Kelvin sat quietly. She looked into his eyes and said, "You want your manhood back?" Kelvin nodded. "Please, Mama, I beg you in God's name. I don't know what I did wrong. Please help me." She stood, went to a small room, and returned with a photo. She showed it to him. The photo showed a large, round woman in a red wrapper, smiling with gapped teeth. She looked about 45. The old woman said, "This is my daughter, Amok. She's 45, no husband, no children, no man has ever given her a second glance. You will marry her." Kelvin's jaw dropped. "Mama, what? You mean I should what?" She placed a photo in his lap. "You heard me. You must marry her. If you do, your manhood will return before your wedding night. If you refuse, it will vanish forever. You'll be a man without manhood for life." Kelvin was sweating. "Mama, why are you doing this? What kind of punishment is this? What did I do wrong? Is helping a poor woman a sin? Why me?" She looked at him coldly. "I didn't ask for your money. You gave it willingly. Now you must face the consequences." Kelvin shouted, "But Mama, I'm set to marry a woman in 2 months. Her name is Cynthia. We've printed the wedding cards. This will ruin everything." The old woman said, "That's not my concern. You must marry my daughter first. Like her or not, she will be your wife. Otherwise, forget your manhood forever." Kelvin dropped the photo and stood. "This is cruel. This is evil. You're destroying someone's life for your daughter. Why not pray to God for her own husband? Why force me?" The woman rose slowly. "Young man, you have 2 days to decide. Think about it. If you don't return with an answer in 2 days, your manhood will turn to stone. If you talk too much, I'll turn you into a goat. Leave my house now." Kelvin didn't hesitate. He rushed out and walked until he reached the main road. He felt like crying. He was weak. His body trembled. Everything seemed dark. He sat by the roadside, pondering his options. If he agreed, his future with Cynthia was over. If he refused, he'd be useless forever. 2 days, just 2 days, and his life could be ruined. The old woman's voice echoed in his mind. "Marry my daughter or lose your manhood forever." He couldn't believe this was happening. He tried to urinate by a bush on the way, but nothing came. The pressure in his bladder grew, feeling like a ticking bomb. He pulled out his phone with shaky hands and called Bobby. The phone rang twice before Bobby answered. "Hey, bro," Bobby said calmly. "How'd it go?" Kelvin's voice was hoarse with fear. "Bobby, She says the only way to get my manhood back is to marry her daughter. Bobby paused for a moment. Wait, what? Kelvin continued. Yes. Her daughter is 45, no husband, no kids, and I must marry her, or my manhood will be gone forever. She gave me 2 days to decide. Bobby said slowly, Bro, I warned you not to give her money. Now look, you'd better marry her. You have no choice. Kelvin breathed heavily. Bobby, what kind of life is this? What did I do wrong? I just gave her money out of pity. Bobby said, Life is weird. Some don't want your money. They want something deeper. You're trapped now. Do what you must to escape. Kelvin nodded slowly. I'm terrified. Bobby ended the call with, Just marry her. It's your only way out. As the call ended, Bobby stared at his phone, smiling. He muttered, Now I can finally have Cynthia. You've paved the way, Kelvin. I've loved her since I first saw her, but you took her. Now it's my turn. Bobby leaned back, grinning as he plotted his next step. Meanwhile, Kelvin trudged home like a ghost. His steps were sluggish, his face blank, his heart heavy. When he reached his door, Cynthia opened it. She rushed to him. Kelvin, where were you? I've been calling. You didn't answer. What's wrong? Kelvin forced a weak smile. I'm fine. I just visited someone. I needed to think. Cynthia touched his face. You don't look fine. You're sweating, and your eyes are red. Tell me what's troubling you. Kelvin walked inside slowly. I just need rest. Cynthia followed him to the bedroom. Kelvin, wait. Don't shut me out. You've been acting odd since yesterday. Please, tell me what's happening. We promised no secrets. Kelvin sat on the bed, looking away. It's nothing major, just work stress. I'll be okay. Cynthia stepped back. Are you sure? Kelvin nodded. I just need sleep. Cynthia sighed and left the room. She didn't believe him, but didn't want to push. Kelvin lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, wrestling with his choices. He had only 2 days to decide his life's fate. At that moment, Bobby called Cynthia. She hesitated, but answered after 5 missed calls. Hello, she said. Bobby replied calmly. Hey, Cynthia. Sorry to bother you. I need to tell you something important. Cynthia frowned. What's that? Bobby took a deep breath. I've kept this quiet for a long time, but I can't anymore. I like you, Cynthia. I've liked you long before Kelvin, but you never noticed me. Cynthia was confused. Bobby, why tell me this now? Bobby paused, then said, Because you deserve the truth. Do you know what Kelvin's planning? He's about to marry another woman soon. Cynthia's heart raced. What? What are you talking about? Bobby continued. That's why he's been acting strange. He's hiding it from you. If you think I'm lying, ask him. But don't mention I told you. Keep it between us. Cynthia stood frozen. Are you certain? Bobby said, Absolutely. Ask him. Cynthia ended the call. Her hands shook. Her heart pounded. No, Kelvin wouldn't do that, she told herself. We set our wedding date. We printed cards. He loves me, right? But Kelvin's behavior over the past 2 days made her doubt. He wasn't eating, wasn't smiling, avoided eye contact, and stayed silent. Cynthia wiped her tears and stood. She walked to the bedroom and opened the door. Kelvin sat up quickly. She stood at the door and said, Kelvin, tell me the truth. Are you planning to marry another woman? Kelvin froze. What? Who told you that? Cynthia stepped forward. Bobby called. He told me everything. Kelvin stood, eyes wide. He did what? Cynthia raised her voice. So it's true. You couldn't tell me. What did I do to deserve this? I love you, Kelvin. I want to marry you. And now you're leaving me for someone else. Kelvin grabbed her hand. No. Cynthia, please listen. It's not what you think. Cynthia pulled away. Then explained. I'm listening. Tell me why you're marrying someone else. Kelvin's voice broke. I didn't plan it. I was forced. Cynthia shouted. By who? What? Kelvin looked down, tears streaming. Please forgive me. I don't know what to do. Cynthia covered her mouth, tears falling. She turned and ran out. Don't follow me, she cried. I can't believe you, Kelvin. I hate you. She slammed the door. Kelvin sank onto the bed, clutching his chest. He couldn't breathe. His life was crumbling. Everything was falling apart. Meanwhile, Bobby smiled. Cynthia didn't return that night. She left crying and went to her friend's place. Her phone rang repeatedly, but she ignored Kelvin's calls. She turned it off and cried herself to sleep. The pain in her chest was overwhelming. She kept asking why. Me? What did I do wrong? The next morning, Kelvin woke with swollen eyes. He hadn't slept. He kept calling Cynthia, but her phone was off. His head was heavy, his chest ached. He sat on the bed, staring at her contact photo. Cynthia, please answer. Let me explain, he whispered. His bladder pain worsened. He still couldn't urinate. The pain in his lower abdomen burned. He rushed to the toilet, tried everything. Nothing came out. He screamed and collapsed, crying, God, why is this happening? I only helped a poor woman. What did I do to deserve this? As he left the toilet, his phone rang. It was Bobby. He hesitated but answered. Hello, Kelvin said weakly. Bobby replied, How you holding up, bro? Kelvin said, I'm not okay. Cynthia left. She's not answering. She left last night and hasn't returned. Bobby said calmly, Sorry, man, but I warned you. You should have been honest with her. Women hate lies. Kelvin stayed silent. Bobby continued, Decided yet? Kelvin said, Decided what? Bobby said, About marrying the old woman's daughter. It's your second day. Time's running out. If you don't agree, you'll lose your manhood forever. Kelvin's eyes teared up. I can't. I love Cynthia. Bobby said, Then suffer. Your choice. He hung up. As Kelvin dropped the phone, a sharp pain hit his lower body. It was worsening. He sat on the floor, clutching his stomach. Meanwhile, Bobby stood by his window, grinning. He'd texted Cynthia that morning. I know you're hurting, and I'm sorry. I'm here for you. If you need to talk, I'm waiting. Cynthia saw it when she woke. She didn't reply, but kept rereading it. Later, Bobby called her. Hey, Cynthia. I know this is tough, but I get how you feel. Kelvin didn't deserve you. Cynthia was silent. I don't know what to believe, she said. Bobby replied, Believe what you see. He didn't deny it. He's marrying someone else and hiding it. That's not love. Cynthia cried again. Why me? Why now? We were so close to our wedding. Bobby said softly, Sometimes things happen for a reason. Maybe God's showing you something. I've always been here, even if you didn't see it. Cynthia sniffed. Thanks. Bobby smiled. Anytime. If you want to talk or get away to clear your mind, I'm here. Cynthia hung up and cried, but part of her wondered if Bobby cared. Back home, Kelvin sat on the floor for hours. Then he stood slowly and looked in the mirror. His face was unrecognizable. His eyes red, lips dry. I can't lose Cynthia or myself, he said. He grabbed his phone, found the old woman's number from their meeting, and dialed. She answered instantly. I knew you'd call today, she said. Kelvin said, I need to see you. She replied, Come to my house. You have hours left before your manhood is gone forever. Kelvin dressed and left. The streets felt endless. He walked like a zombie. At the old woman's house, she was waiting outside. You came, she said. Kelvin nodded. I had no choice. She led him inside and told him to sit. Have you decided? She asked. Kelvin nodded. Yes. She smiled. So you'll marry my daughter? Kelvin said slowly, Yes, I'll do it. I can't live like this. I need healing. The old woman clapped 3 times and called, OM. A tall, heavy woman with thick arms and rough hair emerged. She wore a worn skirt and faded top. Her face was scarred, her teeth brown. She approached slowly, glancing shyly at Kelvin. This is her, the old woman said proudly. Your future wife. Kelvin's heart sank. When's the wedding? He asked. She said, Tomorrow morning, early. Don't worry, I'll arrange everything. Kelvin nodded. Can I go now? She looked at him. Your manhood will return after the wedding night, not before. If you run, it's gone forever. Kelvin stood and left. Tears streamed as he walked home. Cynthia, I'm sorry, he whispered. At home, he saw Cynthia's bag was gone. She'd packed her things. He sat on the bed, broken and defeated. The wedding was small and quiet, held early as the old woman planned. No friends, family, music or cake. Kelvin sat in an old native cloth she gave him. His eyes were vacant, like a man led to slaughter. The ceremony ended in 15 minutes. They returned to Kelvin's house. The woman entered excitedly, looking around. This house is lovely. My dear husband, we'll enjoy here. Kelvin dropped the key on the table and said coldly, Listen well. I don't like you and never will. Your cruel, ungrateful mother forced me into this. I'll never be happy with you. The woman turned with pride. You little boy, you think you're smart. I warn you, you're in this for life. Misbehave, and your manhood vanishes again. I'm your wife, like it or not. Kelvin stormed to his room and slammed the door. He fell to his knees, crying, Cynthia, I'm sorry. I didn't want this. Meanwhile, Cynthia sat quietly at her friend's house. Her heart was heavy, her face swollen from tears. She stared blankly. Her friend Belinda entered. Cynthia, you haven't eaten since yesterday. Please eat. Cynthia shook her head. I can't. I feel like dying. Kelvin betrayed me. He married another woman. Belinda sat beside her. Will you just let your relationship die? You've worked hard for this love. Will you throw it away for some awful woman? Cynthia looked at her. What can I do? He chose her. I begged for the truth, and he stayed silent. That means he never loved me. Belinda took her hand. Cynthia, have you considered what really happened? What drove Kelvin to such a crazy choice? Cynthia snapped, I don't care anymore. Belinda shouted, you do care. You love him, and you're suffering. Listen, I learned everything. Cynthia's eyes widened. What do you mean? The old beggar Kelvin helped is the mother of the woman he married. When he gave her money, she cursed him spiritually, stealing his manhood. He couldn't urinate or feel anything. The only way she'd restore him was to marry her 45-year-old daughter, who's not just unattractive but cruel. He was forced, not willing. Cynthia gasped, what? Why didn't he tell me? Belinda said, he tried, but you didn't listen. You left in anger, and Bobby fed you lies. Cynthia sat slowly. So Bobby lied. Belinda nodded. He knew it all. He wanted you for himself. That's why he said Kelvin was cheating. Bobby's a bad friend. Stay away. Cynthia burst into tears. So that's what happened. My poor Kelvin was suffering, and I didn't let him explain. Oh God, what have I done? Belinda hugged her. It's not too late to fix it. Cynthia wiped her tears. I won't abandon my man. I'll fight for him. She looked at Belinda. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank God we're friends. Belinda smiled. Let's go get Kelvin back. Cynthia acted fast. That evening, she called her pastor, explaining everything, crying. Pastor, I messed up. I judged Kelvin too quickly. He was suffering. I didn't listen. I want to see him, but not alone. Please come with me. The pastor agreed. I'll go with you, my child. Some battles need spiritual fire. They met at the church gate and took a taxi to Kelvin's house. Cynthia's heart raced as they neared. God, let him be home, she prayed. At the house. Cynthia knocked. The old woman opened the door, her face stern. She eyed Cynthia and the pastor. What do you want now? The pastor stepped forward. Peace to this house. I come in Jesus' name. The old woman scoffed. Go away, pastor. This isn't your concern. The pastor said, when evil resides in a home, it's my concern. The Lord sent me to break the works of darkness. The old woman laughed. You're wasting your time. Suddenly, the pastor raised his Bible and prayed in tongues. The ground trembled slightly. A breeze swept through the living room. The old woman fell to her knees, screaming, Stop! Stop! Fire's burning me. Cynthia watched, stunned, as the woman rolled on the floor, coughing. The pastor pointed at her. You foul spirit, leave this woman in Jesus' name. The old woman screamed louder, then went quiet, looking weak and tired. The pastor turned to her daughter. And you? Aren't you ashamed? Isn't Kelvin too young for you? Have you no shame? The daughter fell to her knees, crying. It's not my fault. Believe me, my mother used charms on me, stole my beauty, made men reject me. This isn't my true self. She sobbed harder. Man of God, pray for me. I need deliverance. I don't want to be like her. I want freedom. The pastor looked with compassion. God is merciful, he said. He placed his hand on her head and prayed. Lord, restore her. Return all the enemy stole. As he prayed, a strange thing happened. A bright light enveloped the woman. Her face transformed, her skin smooth, her body reshaped. In minutes, she looked entirely different, young and beautiful. She stood, looked in a mirror, and gasped. I'm beautiful again. This is me. I haven't seen this face in 20 years. She cried joyfully, "Thank you, Jesus. I'll never follow my mother's evil ways again." Cynthia smiled and entered the house. "Where's Kelvin?" The woman said, "In his room." Cynthia went to the door and knocked. "Kelvin, it's me. Open the door." Inside, Kelvin lay lost in thought, hopeless. Hearing Cynthia's voice, he leaped up and opened the door. "Cynthia," he said, stunned. She rushed into his arms, hugging tightly. "I'm sorry, Kelvin. I didn't listen. I know the truth now. I love you and won't leave you." Kelvin wept at her arms. "You came back. Thank you, Jesus. I thought I'd lost you forever." They held each other long, but far away, Bobby stood by his window, trembling with rage. A street boy told him Cynthia and the pastor went to Kelvin's house. He couldn't believe it. "So Kelvin will still marry the woman I love," he shouted. "Over my dead body. I'll take her from him by force." That night, Bobby couldn't sleep. He paced like a caged lion, eyes red, hands shaking. The more he thought of Cynthia with Kelvin, the angrier he grew. "No, this won't happen," he yelled. "I'll stop this marriage. Kelvin's taken everything from me." Early next morning, he dressed quickly and rushed to the old woman's house. He banged on the wooden door. She opened it slowly, her face calm but weary. "What do you want?" she asked. Bobby pushed inside. "This wasn't the plan," he shouted. "We agreed Kelvin would marry your daughter forever. Why let that pastor ruin everything?" The old woman stared. "All you care about is wickedness?" Bobby stepped closer. "Yes, that was the plan. You said he'd be trapped forever. Now he's back with Cynthia. You failed." Her eyes flared with anger. "Bobby, how evil are you? I'm done with wickedness. Can't you see Cynthia has a powerful pastor? That fire in my house nearly killed me. I don't want to die in sin." Bobby scoffed loudly. "You're a weak partner. You let feelings ruin our plan. You're a coward. A stupid, ugly old fool." The old woman gasped. "You dare insult me?" Bobby laughed. "Yes, I insult you. You had one job and failed. That little pastor scared you. You're a disgrace." She shook her head. "Bobby, you're not just evil. You're the devil himself. I thought I was bad, but you're worse. You care for no one. You don't love Cynthia. You just want to destroy." Bobby's face twisted in fury. "You talk too much, old witch. Watch your mouth." The old woman stood tall. "Leave my house now, or I'll turn you into something worse than a rat." Bobby laughed again. "You can't do anything. You're useless now. Your time's done. All you have is that foul mouth, you ugly witch." The old woman said nothing. She turned to a corner, grabbed a small black stick with strange symbols, and pointed it at Bobby. "I warned you," she said quietly. Bobby laughed. "What's that? A toothpick? You can't touch me." But before he finished, he screamed, fell shaking, eyes white. He jumped up, ripped off his shirt, and ran outside barefoot, shouting and barking like a dog. "Fire, water, lions chasing me." He rolled on the ground, tore his trousers, and talked to trees. "Don't arrest me. I'm the president. Cynthia's my wife," he yelled. Back at Kelvin's house, he and Cynthia prayed with the pastor, unaware of Bobby's fate. Their prayers were already winning their battles. That morning, they sat quietly in the living room with the pastor, who read a Bible verse on restoration. "What the devil planned for evil, God turned for your good," he said. Cynthia held Kelvin's hand, smiling. "We're free at last," she whispered. Kelvin nodded. "God saved me. I'd have lost everything without you, Pastor, and you, Cynthia, for coming back when I had no hope." A knock came. It was Belinda, beaming. "Heard the news?" she asked. "What news?" Kelvin and Cynthia said together. Belinda laughed. "Bobby's gone mad. He was seen running in the streets, shouting, tearing his clothes, talking to trees, pouring water on his head. People tried to grab him, but he bit someone and ran into the bush by the market." Cynthia gasped. "Bobby?" Belinda nodded. "Yes, the old woman dealt with him. He insulted her. She warned him to leave, but he kept on. She pointed something at him, and boom, he went crazy." The pastor closed his Bible. "Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Evil always falls before good." Kelvin sighed. "He used me, betrayed me, tried to ruin me, all for Cynthia." Cynthia shook her head. "He never loved me. He just wanted what wasn't his." The pastor stood. The battle's over. Time to give thanks. Come to church Sunday. Share your testimony. People need to hear how God saved you from evil. Cynthia and Kelvin agreed. We'll be there, they said. Meanwhile, the old woman and her daughter were transforming. The daughter, now beautiful and free, cried as she cleaned the house. I want a new life, Mama. No more wickedness. I want to serve God. The old woman paused, then nodded. You're right. I've done evil, but it's not too late. That pastor saved me too. I felt something leave me during his prayer. I want to go to that church and give my life to Christ. Her daughter hugged her. Yes, Mama. We'll go together. Days later, Sunday arrived. The church was packed. Cynthia and Kelvin stood at the altar, sharing their story. People wept, some shouted, Jesus, others clapped. The pastor prayed for them, blessing their upcoming marriage. After the service, the old woman and her daughter came forward, teary-eyed, and gave their lives to Christ. The church rejoiced. Only God can do this, someone shouted. Weeks later, Kelvin and Cynthia's wedding plans were back on track, filled with joy, peace, and testimonies. On their wedding day, the pastor said, what the devil meant for shame, God turned to glory. This is the Lord's doing. They were married, and as they danced, true love's victory was clear. Belinda danced joyfully, shouting, my best friend's married. God did it. The old woman and her daughter attended, watching from the back with joy. I'm no longer a witch, the old woman said to herself. I'm a new woman. No one heard from Bobby again. Some said he wandered the village with ropes, others that he sat quietly, staring at the sky. But one truth stood, evil never triumphs. And when love is true, no force can break it. Dear viewers, what lessons did you learn from this dramatic tale? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, give it a thumbs up, share with friends, and hit subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications to catch our latest updates.